So we get stories, all kinds from our fans telling us about how they're connected to a particular song.
TommyTwoWheels here, taking you guys on a tour of downtown Atlanta, Georgia.
What do we got here, Roger? What are you working on?
Well, today we're actually putting on a fender on this bike, and there's a couple ways to
getting in my face. No more traffic jams, telephones, emails, or faxes. Just lie on the beach.
Frank?
Yes.
Either you've gone Hollywood on me, or we're going to be talking about light bulbs.
Right. You know, today, everybody's switching to complex fluorescent bulbs or to LED bulbs.
Yeah. Because of the savings, right?
Right, the savings. You know that Hawaii has probably the most expensive electricity in the United States. We're paying.
Yeah, I know that.
We're paying over 33 cents per kilowatt hour.
Why is that? Well, that's another.
Yeah, well, because we're reliant on oil, right? Where in the mainland they have dams, water. So
they have that dam electricity.
Right. So I just want to show you real quickly.
No, that's the meter, right?
Yeah, right. This represents a meter that's on your home.
Okay.
Now, when the incandescent light bulb was invented by Edison, Thomas Edison, basically it's an element, and it's the heat that's producing the light. So it has 90% of the energy that's going through that bulb is wasted.
Because it's producing heat,
it's
not
producing
light.
heat, right? So if you're going to cook hot dogs or something, that's the bulb you want. Now, if you look at the meter, you notice just with a 60-watt bulb, you can actually see it moving there, right?
Yeah, I can see it moving. I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but I think it'll.
Okay, now
it's moving.
Now,
okay.
This shows a fluorescent compact bulb.
This one here.
Right. Now, that bulb is a 13-watt bulb. And even though it's only 13 watt versus 60, it will produce the same amount of lumens.
Of what?
Lumens.
What is that?
Okay, imagine that you had a cube, 12 inches by 12 inch square box, and you lit a candle, and you put it into the middle of that box. The light that candle produced is 1 lumen. So if you have a bulb that's rated at, let's say, 500 lumens, it would require 500 candles.
Okay.
That would be a pretty bad birthday cake, right?
Sorry, Frank, I missed class that day, but I see what you mean. It's a measurement of how strong the light is?
The amount of light that is produced.
Okay.
So of course, watts is the energy that's being used.
What?
What? Right. Because when they say 33 cents a kilowatt, what they're saying is, imagine you had a 100-watt light bulb, and you left it on for 10 hours.
That would cost?
That's 1,000 watts of electricity used. That's 33 cents.
Wow.
So if you burned one 100-watt bulb for 10 hours, 33 cents.
Okay, and if you have 15 in your house.
Yeah, big bucks, right?
Whoa!
So here we have a complex fluorescent using 13 watts instead of 60.
60.
I turned it on. Now look at the meter.
Okay, let me see if it's going much slower.
Okay.
Is that only because of its 13, or because it's 13 opposed to 60?
Right, it's producing the same amount of lumens, light, but only using 1/4 the electricity.
Okay, wow.
But now they've come out with LED bulbs, which totally different principle. It's the diodes that are in there, electronic, and they produce, to make the same amount of light, you're only going to be using about this is like a 9 or 10 watt bulb.
What is that?
Yeah, okay, this is a new type of bulb we're coming out with, because as you can see, LED lights today are more directional.
Yeah.
They point in one direction.
And they're not that hot?
Yeah, no, they don't get that hot.
Yeah.
Whereas, and even compact bulbs.
The old ones, you got to put gloves to change the bulb.
Very red hot. So these, they have diodes all around the edges. So when you turn it on, the light goes in all directions. It's a directional type LED. You see?
And how many kilowatts?
Okay, so this again is only using about 10 watts, but it is producing equal to a 60-watt light bulb.
It's even better than this.
Better. So now, so you say, what is the advantage of this over fluorescent?
Okay.
A typical compact fluorescent bulb will last 7,000 to 8,000 hours. A regular light bulb will only last 1,000. So okay, already you know that for every 7 times you got to change this one, you only got to change that one. Imagine this is 20 feet up in the air.
Yeah.
to get a scaffold to go up there.
Yeah, sure.
This bulb will last 25,000 hours.
Okay, so they've got to be more expensive than
Correct.
those.
So let's say you had this bulb on 3 hours a day for 1 year.
Yeah.
That's about 1,000 hours of electricity. I mean, 1,000 hours of use. This bulb you don't have to replace for 25 years at 3 hours a day. 25
And
years.
by then they'll have an even better bulb out.
So that's the advantage of LED over compact fluorescent. It's the life expectancy. The disadvantage is the cost.
Yeah.
You know, this bulb is maybe $1. This bulb is maybe $2 to $3. This bulb is going to cost you about $10. But over the life of the LED,
Yeah.
you're going to save so much electricity.
And you know what's funny, Frank? More people will pay $5 for a cup of coffee.
Right.
And not, I don't want to pay $5 for a bulb, right? That'll last 25 years.
Right. So eventually, you know, as America becomes more energy conscious, as you know, in 2015, all incandescent bulbs are going to be out.
Yeah. Outlawed or just
In the home
why?
centers, you will not be able to buy them. Already they've stopped making the 100 watt, 75 watt. They still make 60s and 40s, but eventually they're going to go away too. And everything will be compact fluorescent and LED.
because of the savings, because of the convenience.
Right.
And
And
I
the
can't-
cost will come down.
And I can't tell you how soft and romantic this lighting makes you look, Frank.
Yeah, they do come in different colors, you know. Warm white, cool white, daylight, yes.
You know what? I would like to talk to you more, but I gotta go change some bulbs.
Okay, goodbye.
I always buy stuff here because cheap.
Introducing the all-new Indian Chief, starting at $18,999. Choice in American motorcycles is here.
Here are 3 reasons to choose TNT Tinting. 1, we carry the world's best window film. 2, we're Hawaii's industry leader for over 30 years. And 3, our people with over 240 years of combined experience. Log on or stop by. TNT Tinting.
When a project gets blown your way, City Mill has lower prices to get the job done. There are lower prices throughout the store, so you can get more done while spending less. Lower prices on the products you come to City Mill for. Check our ads or stop by and see aisle after aisle with the new lower price tags. Lower prices at City Mill, your neighborhood store that's always big on help, big on savings.
We're here at Kustom Fab Choppers to talk to Roger about motorcycle customizing tips. What do we got here, Roger? What are you working on?
Well, today we're actually putting on a fender on this bike, and there's a couple ways to do this. Now, if this is a soft tail, and so in other words, what happens is the swing arm on this bike actually moves up and down to absorb shock. There's 2 ways to mount a fender on this type of bike. You can either mount it directly to the frame, Andy.
Yeah, and then you get that,
Yes,
big,
exactly
and then
right. Where you gotta leave clearance for
Yeah.
the tire to move under that fender,
Look ugly.
and it really looks ugly. Or you can mount the fender directly to the swing arm, which is what we're doing in this case. So
Okay.
today what we're doing is we're actually spacing it off of the tire. And my one recommendation is, if you guys are doing this for yourself, use really big tubing, because for some reason, and I think you've seen this on other shows on TV, after paint, you lose clearance for whatever reason it is.
Just one of those things with the
yeah,
customizing
like
gods.
We have set fenders really high, and then when we get them back from paint, there's like maybe 3/8 of an inch clearance on the tire.
So this is a spacer, so when you set it down, you get that good
yes,
clearance.
right. And
Tight.
this is going to be a real good tight fit.
Okay.
And the thing to remember too is you got to leave room for the tire to move back and forth. Don't forget that.
So when you
Otherwise, you're
adjust it for the chain tension.
Exactly, yeah. When you adjust chain tension, or even later on when you're gonna adjust it for the belt, you're gonna have to have tire movement in the fender. So you gotta make sure you have that clearance. Now, in this case though, Andy, I'm gonna cut the fender really short, so the tire will be able to move out, from the fender.
Now at this point, you weld, you tack, you.
Yep, we're gonna weld and tack, and in this case, I'm actually gonna make some struts to hold this so that the owner really wants to be able to pack on this fender. So we're gonna make it like really strong. We'll actually make a strut that'll strengthen the fender back here, give it a little bit more support.
There you have it.
Got it.
Ride safe.
Flamenco jazz fusion is probably a good description for this because it is a mixture of a bunch of musical styles. Flamenco because of the guitars and the hand technique and the cajon and the Spanish vocals, but then jazz because of the improvisation and the mixing of different musical styles, just as jazz mixed with blues and all sorts of things. Our presentation changes, it does change. I would say we customize and tweak, and we have a big repertoire of songs, so we'll choose certain material that's appropriate for a given performance.
I never really play rock or blues, but I play lots of pop actually back in San Diego, and then I certainly play in some things that are even weirder than that. Like I play in a group that does all like classic Persian music. I'm the only non-Persian guy. That's probably the weirdest thing. Yeah, the other night we were playing Persian music for the Persian New Year.
This is, I believe, our 9th trip over here, and we love coming to the islands. We have lots of local fans here in Hawaii, and they've been good and have come out several times to see us, and we look forward to coming back on future trips.
Man, Hawaiians seem to love all music.
All music.
They just love music over here is what I've found.
Yeah.
It's much more, this culture is much more in tune with arts and music, actually. Much more fun-loving and just interested in what people are doing, the actual craft of playing music as opposed to pushing buttons. I think people in Hawaii especially really appreciate that, really appreciate a talent or a skill that you've crafted. The food here in Hawaii is very crafted, and the handicrafts and the paintings, they really appreciate a good hand, somebody who's worked hard to craft their skill. And a lot of people, we have lots of people come up to us and latch on to a certain song, and they've all got a story about how that particular song, they remember dancing, to that song in Hanks before Pearl Harbor happened, and they'll come up and talk to us about that, and that was like a song the day before they're dancing to a song that we play, and so we get stories, all kinds from our fans telling us about, how they're connected to a particular song, and because it crosses so many, ethnicities and nationalities, it's diverse, and so we get a good cross-section of people.
Introducing the all-new Indian Chief, starting at $18,999. Choice in American motorcycles is here.
That's right. Good. You're kidding. No way. That's oh. That's great. Could you repeat that, please? Thank you.
Call First Insurance at 527-7722 for a free auto insurance quote. And chances are, you'll be surprised by how much you save.
I always buy stuff here because, cheap.
Here are 3 reasons to choose TNT Tinting. 1, we carry the world's best window film. 2, we're Hawaii's industry leader for over 30 years. And 3, our people with over 240 years of combined experience. Log on or stop by. TNT Tinting.
You often hear that when people play together that it's a conversation back and forth. Have you ever had a musical argument on stage?
Yes, certainly.
Sure we have.
Yeah.
Usually followed by an actual, real verbal argument.
I don't know if I play in any of those bands that were the musical argument bands anymore.
Yeah, we have a saying as musicians, it was a pressure to play against you.
Yeah.
That's usually when you feel, when you have that musical argument, that's
It was real, it was fun, but not real fun.
I would say about half of our stuff is original compositions, and half of it are standards from throughout the world. It could be a Brazilian standard, or a jazz standard, or an Arabic standard. And by that I mean something that's really idiomatic in that cultural style. So it'll really, typify that music. And anybody from Brazil is going to know that song. Anyone from Peru would know the song Toro Mata. Any jazz person would know Minor Swing. And so these are kind of standard tunes that resonate with people, and they're pop tunes they're pop folk tunes.
Just we make the music that we make, we play the songs that we know, and then we try to create music that intrigues us and just makes us, we try to make music that we would want to hear, and hopefully people would like to hear it as well.
The kids today, how do they react to your stuff?
We just had a lot of little kids at Kapiolani Community College dancing to our music. They were dancing up a storm from the nursery.
Not the college students.
Not the college
students. The little kids.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm a teacher, and I can teach any subject through music. Rather than music being a subject, I think of it as a vehicle of learning because it's so fun to do. And so people, I think have a lot to learn about vibration and mathematics, proportion, anthropology, geography. All these things can be taught through music. I find that kids that are in video games and movies, it's a detached, spectator sort of culture. And so when they see something that's real, not virtual, but right there, they're really fascinated by it.
Yeah.
Yes? Sure. Good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great. Wow. Whew. Great. Can you say that again?
Call First Insurance at 527-7722 for a free auto insurance quote. And chances are, you'll be surprised by how much you save.
Did you know dementia and Alzheimer's are linked to hearing loss? If you're not hearing well, it's very important that you get help soon. The longer you wait, the worse it could get. At Family Hearing Aid Center, let us help you bring back what you've been missing. Call us today and receive a free screening and consultation, and a lifetime of service and adjustments every 3 months included with your purchase. We are locally owned and operated and have been serving Hawaii for 33 years. Family Hearing Aid Center.
Hiya, Andy. Thanks for having me on Toolin Around. TommyTwoWheels here, taking you guys on a tour of downtown Atlanta, Georgia. Which mostly consists of stopping at red lights. Just kidding, I'll edit these out. Coming up here on our right is the world of Coca-Cola, affectionately known as the Coca-Cola Museum. It was built in 2007 to replace the original that was built in 1991. Come on, people. Come on, you can make it. There you go. World of Coca-Cola. Next up, we've got the Georgia Aquarium. Check it out. This was built in 2005, has over 10 million gallons of water, over 500 species are represented by 100,000 animals. It's a really, really incredible aquarium. People come from all around to see it. Check it out. Over here we have Centennial Olympic Park to our right and our left. We're kind of cutting through the center of it here. This was built in 1995 for the upcoming 1996 Olympic Games held here in Atlanta. The world famous fountains, they got them timed to music a lot of times, and when it's a little bit warmer, there's lots of kids over here playing in it. All right, over here you'll see the new addition to the Atlanta skyline, our big Ferris wheel. That provides some nice views of the city. And coming up on our right will be CNN, which was established in 1980 by Ted Turner. Now up here to my right is the home of the Atlanta Hawks, Phillips Arena. I don't know if you can tell, but these beams spell out the word Atlanta. But all right, right in front of me is the Georgia Dome, home of the NFL's Atlanta Falcons. And also hosts many large events throughout the city. Well, not throughout the city, they all are here, but the Georgia Dome hosts a lot of events. Yeah, okay, man, it's early on a Sunday. I'm out here doing this. Give me a break. All right. I ain't doing it. He looks friendly. Well, I was gonna sit here, officer, but the sign said no, turn on red, so I did. I don't think that'll fly. All right, here we are in the heart of downtown on Peachtree Street. Coming up through the kind of touristy section. Waiting on people who are driving kind of touristy. Alright, I'll take that back. They're driving very touristy. So we will untouristify the ride. Dun, dun, dun. Alright, here we finally are in the cool area of downtown, just in time to stop at another red light. Well, all right. Thanks for having me, Andy. Appreciate the opportunity. And you guys enjoy tooling around. And Andy, I'll talk to you later. Peace.
traffic jams, telephones, emails, or faxes. Just laugh.